Good evening, NoFos. How are we doing?
Hello. I was looking for my pen.
Congratulations, Lance, on your 600 followers. Is it 900 followers? How many followers?
Oh yeah. Thanks for taking a real interest, Mike. You're the best.
I immediately unfollowed you as soon as I saw it. I don't know if you noticed.
You're such a cock. Was that you? You are a massive prick. Honestly. I commented on that, and then Hayes Airsoft. He shared that to his story and said some fucknuts unfollowed Lance, unfollows the punish phone. Go and give him a like. And I came back on, it was like 908. I was like, oh, bless him. So I was like, I got to admit, it is quite funny because I would do that to someone as well. Oh, you absolute tosser. Hate you.
Yeah.
Evening, gents.
Good evening. Hi, James, that. Nick, Charlie, Rage, Andy.
Just accosting Mike there for his horsing around earlier. Good Lord.
James says I've had that done twice to me now.
It's an arse. It
has to be done, isn't it?
Yeah, but 900. It's like 899.
It was the fact you were bang on 900. I was like, this is a.
Well, I was going to do it earlier, and it went to 900, and then it went to 899 again. I thought, well, I'm not going to do it now because I'm going to look really silly. So I did it, and I was like, you're a dick, mate. I can't believe you've done that. Oh, I'm not talking to you.
In my defense,
there's no defense in that.
Hang on. It was there for about 30 seconds, and I really liked you again, and it went back up to 900. So.
Well, so it was someone else did it as well. Then there's two assholes out there. No, good stuff. Good stuff.
Dear. Pew pew news.
Pew pew news.
Pew pew news. Actually, I'll tell you what. There's a new branding thing. Can
we do that though? Because of YouTube, we're allowed to make finger guns. Don't think we can we?
I don't know. I don't know what this is going to do.
I'm going to risk it. Is this background song?
This is acoustic cinematic.
Oh yeah. Oh, I don't know about this.
No, I don't like it.
But star.
Hi, fresh mate. Andy says, to be honest, Mike, I was going to do it, but you beat me to it.
Good evening. I'm all new to your show. I am podcast number
8 John.
For the moment. Good evening, John. Welcome along, sir.
Hi, John. Yeah.
Thanks for joining us.
We are on episode 62, John, so you've got a fair few hours to go.
Fair few hours of nonsense, mate, to catch yourself up. Catch yourself up and confirm the bollocks at the end of it.
Oh dear! Right,
Hughes news, mate. Purchases, yes.
Come on, what have you bought this week?
I finally got one of these little babies, 1,500 rounds, new A&K box mag, nutsack mag, in your face thing mag. So I got that. Really happy with it. Well, actually, I am happy with it. Aside from this little bit here, so there's where the inert rounds would sit. So that internal part, which is near the release clip there, that's a ball ache because it needs to be like half the size. So them two corners need to be taken off. So these actually sit behind the rounds. Because when you've got your net rounds in here, they sort of splay to the sides like that, which no one really wants to see that. So I'm going to have to do a bit of jiggery. I want to test it first, and I want to make sure it cycles and feeds correctly and is all good before I go jimmying around with this mold. Because otherwise, if it doesn't work, I can't send it back. So
yeah, no, fair enough.
I'm going to do a little bit of testing first, but happy with it. Overall, cases seems fine. Really robust. Nice little clip there to hold the zip shut. I like all that sort of jazz. I might put a little bit of sniper tape on that though, because it's a bit jingly. Sounds a bit Rudolph bells, you know what I mean? So, but other than that, yeah, it's cool, mate. It's cool. It's like
that mag feeds by the acoustic sound.
It's got yes, it has. It's got acoustic. It's got automatic feed, and it's also got a pressure switch, like a pressure switch for a tack light or something. So you can actually plug that into a little jack, and then affix it to the side of your upper receiver or something, or your 249 or whatever it is you're using. And it'll depress that and it'll wind the mag on. So, which is quite cool. Very similar to what I've done with my old box mag, where I put the rocker switch on the outside. It's just an alternate switch for you to use.
I mean, it was a bit of a loaded question because I know the answer. But I completely agree with you about the little feed lips. So I'll bring the pain.
Right, whatever, boring.
Yeah. Top tip with those, if anyone's interested, if you want a DPM cover, you can't find one. You can actually buy the proper real steel military ones, XMOD ones. Shut up. Off of eBay, and they just unscrew the cover, just unscrews from the airsoft unit, and then you just fit the real steel. I say real steel, the real steel cloth bag onto it. So yeah.
Absolutely
top tip.
Have worked out your 1,000 round limit yet? Yes. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get a bottle that holds 1,000 rounds and then pour that into the box. I think that's what I'm going to do. Failing that, I will guess. As in, can you get a 2,000 round bag?
Yeah.
I might just do that and sort of tip half in.
Well, to be fair, so those mags are what, 1,500 rounds?
Yeah.
So if you just lose a third, roughly.
Yeah. I'll lose a third in the first firefight, so then I'll have 1,000.
I normally lose a third by reloading, so...
Yeah. I usually lose a third by unclipping the magazine. It goes,
Yeah.
yeah, thanks for that. Brilliant. In the face.
Hi, Showers. Hi, Danny. Les says, yes, big boys. What's warning?
Yes, big boys. What's guaning?
Oh, what's guaning?
I don't know why I said that like Arnold Schwarzenegger. What's guaning?
No, that's cool.
Arnold Schwarzenegger doesn't say that. I've never heard him say that ever.
Look, I've got a couple of things this week. I bought some new eye pro. So these are the Tiger Eye Edge Tactical glasses, which have now just immediately gone blurry. I'm back in. So these are the orange sort of tinted shades. I've had the clear ones before, so I actually bought another pair of the clear ones as well.
Look at you.
And really like these, so highly recommend. What else I've got? Oh, I also got a new sleeping bag. So I bought a Mounted Equipment Helium 600 sleeping bag, which is the most money I've ever spent on a sleeping bag ever.
£600.
No, so they're £300 recommended retail price. But I managed to get a fairly sizable discount on that, put it that way.
How did you do this?
I basically paid about £160. Just through shopping around and being savvy. So Cotswold Outdoor at the moment. Highly, yeah, go and have a chat to them.
Cotswold Outdoor. Okay.
It's a down sleeping bag though. So the equivalent for the Snug Pack one is about a third of the size and a third of the weight.
But it still maintains the insulation.
So it goes down to -26 as the extreme level. The comfort is between -1 and -10. So that should see me through my winter sleeping.
Nora. Well, I'd like to think so, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want no complaints from you now. No sleeping in the car.
No. The only thing is they are a little bit snug. So they are designed for a smaller gentleman.
Does that mean you'll have to be completely naked when you get in it?
They do baffle extenders. Well, I do that anyway.
Oh, I love a baffle extender. Not going to lie.
The baffle expansion things. So it adds like an extra bit of width to the sleeping bag. So I've ordered one of those so I can get in.
So you can extend your back. So you want to be able to extend your back in the evenings, mate. When you get into that DOS bag, there's nothing better than extending your baffle.
Exactly. You'll hear me all night long extending my baffle.
Ensuring I'm in my comfort zone still.
Yeah. Andy says sandwich bags for me with 1,000 rounds weighed out. I've filled the box mag and my 2 camo bags already. There you go. Yeah, you could weigh them. Weighing them would be a much better option than counting them.
I'm not going to individually count 1,000 BBs, Mike. If that's what I know I can be a bit daft sometimes, but that's not going to happen. Yeah, I get that, weighing it and times them by. Mountain equipment, sleeping bags are pretty darn good. Oh yes, I'm good. I like my Snug Pack Base Camp Extreme and my Jungle combo, which I do. One thing I can't find at the minute is my Mylar sleep mat, which is a bit odd because it's like a bright silver shiny sleep mat. So how that sort of blends into
has your brother-in-law got that as well?
My sea of DPM and OD green, I don't know, but it's that's gone walking. What did you say?
I say, has your brother-in-law got that as well?
No. Oh, yeah. So I did find my missing iPro, ladies and gents. Those of you in the NoFo event chat, my brother-in-law had it. Never gave it back to me after his training session. So if anyone felt that they was being accused of stealing my glasses, I had by no way or means, shape or form did I intend it to sound like I was accusing anyone.
Yeah.
I just thought I'd broadened my search area from the loft to all of your houses and bags.
Yeah.
But they've been found. So everyone can stand down, panic over, go about your business. It's all good.
Liz says, Mike, you should have used a blue light card, even more off the price. Yeah, so basically
That's fraud. We don't condone fraud.
No. So I had a friend with me who had a Scout discount code and they wouldn't apply the Scout discount because it was already heavily reduced already. Because otherwise I'd have knocked another 20% off of that as well.
Blood-sucking hell fiend. That's what you are.
Yeah. Philip says, good day, lads. Happy belated Australia Day. Yeah, woo.
No idea it was Australia Day, Phil. I'm not going to lie, mate. I'm not
sorry.
Australian. But happy Australia Day to you, Phil. That's the important
G'day!
thing. G'day, mate. How you going? You flaming galah.
Rage says the mounted equipment tents are right too. I've not seen those. I have been looking up is it the MCR jet boils equivalent things?
Oh, yeah, you mentioned that the other day, yeah.
Yeah, so I've been doing a bit of research on jet boils and cook sets and stuff like that because I'm not 100% convinced by jet boil at the moment. I want to get something that cooks vertically rather than my mess tins, which are fine, and they've lasted me for the last 10 years.
You not looked up the verti-boils?
Is that an actual thing, or are you just having a...
Fuck it. You're getting wise to my wife's cracks.
Yeah. So I've been looking at MSR, Jetboil, and then Stanley cups. Stanley cups are quite good as well. They're like a 600ml sort of stacking cup system. So see how that goes. Yeah. Rage says, and yes, Lance Trangia for the win.
Absolutely, mate. I knew you'd say it, so I thought I'd beat you to it. As soon as cook sets are mentioned, it could be nothing to do with the actual heating of anything. Rage just goes, Trangia.
Yeah.
It could be, what knife and fork set would you like to go with your cook set?
Trangia.
Just use that. Just scoop it out with once you've used all the meths in the Trangia, just scoop your soup up with that. It's fine. Done it loads.
Right.
They are good though, to be fair. They are brilliant. All joking aside.
We've got an event coming up.
Hey!
Woohoo! I'm very excited. So we're going to be going to Okto8's event this weekend.
We've got to go head to head now. This is face-off time now, isn't it?
I know. No, this is basically we normally book onto events together.
You're not going to get emotional, are you?
I just want to be with you. No, so basically we normally book onto events together. The PMC event, the PMC group had filled up sort of before I had the opportunity to book because they Okto
all the cool guys got on the PMC basically.
Yeah, I highly believe in this system, but basically if you've been to their events before, you have priority booking for the next event, which is fine. I had to unfortunately miss a couple of Oktos, so I wasn't in the priority booking group. So I'm now on the JTF, which is the equivalent of NATO, or sort of the multicam squad, MTP, BTP. So it's going to be Lance and I head to head, which should be interesting. So tonight's chat will not be including too much detail from our relevant briefings and discussions and Orbats and stuff like that. Do you want to kick off, Lance, in terms of what your role is to sort of be this weekend?
Well, yeah, I mean, once again, taking on the PMC role. So I always like that, and I've not done it until we started doing Okto events. It was the first time I'd ever done a PMC role. So, so I've been doing it for the last 3 or 4, whatever it might be. Can't remember. But yeah, loving it. So yeah, I'll be rocking again with the PMC team. Not going to say too much more else because of you, basically. So,
what sort of kit are you wearing as PMC then?
I'm going to be using my DPM chest rig, Northern Ireland chest rig. Old but wicked. I love it. Comfortable. I can put my sidearm in there with mags, mat pocket, my comms on the left hand side there. I could chuck a backpack on with it. It's just very minimal strapping across the back. It's lightweight. Do you know what I mean? There was a lot of old kit you'd find it'd be quite heavy and cumbersome. This is actually a really light piece of kit and it's really strong. The only sort of mod I've done to it is I've cut the male female buckles off of it and just because it's got Velcro as well. I've just sort of semi-stitched them and then sniper taped them, so I've got like an easy grip to grab hold of just to get the mag pouches open and stuff like that. That's minimal sort of modding to it. Certainly not Mission Taylor standards, unless you started using bits of cotton and a sniper tape, then it might well be on par, but it's not. So yeah, I'll be using that. Just my standard Viper Desert Tan trousers with the built-in knee pads, my brown fleece, like my bushcraft fleece, keeping it sort of like minimal block colours, with a little bit of civvy chucked in there. And hopefully I'll be running my MP5. And then again, maybe not. Depends who I see out in the field first. Depends how angry I am.
I tell you what, if we bump into each other, we need to just throw our guns down and just have a knife fight or something like that.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I'll tell you what. No, even better. We just throw our guns down and then just have let's make friends and just cuddle. I
might have this with me. This might be my melee. My Christmas present for my daughter, my lovely bushcraft spatula. That might be coming with me. Well, actually, I might have to come with me because no, you've got yours now, haven't you?
Yeah, I'll bring my spatula as well. We can have a spatch off.
We'll have a spatch off in the woods. Where's Michael Lance? They're in the woods slapping each other with spatulas. Leave them alone. They're making up again. So yeah, that's going to be me. That's my sort of loadout. Minimal, very minimal. I don't know whether to take my Condor, my OD Green rig, because I'm pondering about a little bag just for my Camelback to go in, or just chuck a couple of bottles of water in there. I can't quite decide yet. I'll have to see how it goes. Got a couple of days left yet, so
yeah.
What about you, mate?
Yeah. So I'm going
super duper JTF Special Forces.
Yeah, emphasis on the special. So I'm going in the classic sort of multicam Warrior DCS with my trousers and U-back. Probably several other layers on there as well.
Cold and bold, mate. That's the key.
I think it's good. I appreciate cold and bold, but there is also cold and then there's super cold.
Cold and it's fucking freezing.
Yeah. Hi, Mike. Thanks, Troy.
Even Pete.
So yeah, basically it's just the classic multicam.
Oh no, it's not Pete, is it? It's
No, it's Trench or Tunnel or whatever you call him.
Splatfuck.
No, don't say that.
Captain Splatfuck.
For those that missed Mike Brewer's episode where he came on for MilSim Rolls 1, good episode. Go back and have a watch of that. Mike basically had an incident with a peat bog, or just a bog.
It was a bog.
So we
don't know
started
if it was Pete or not.
No, we don't know if it's Pete. It's definitely bogs. So we now call him Pete, as in Pete Bog. But then we were in a chat with him earlier because he's coming along to the Legion event later on in the year, and we were working out different names for him, of which for some reason it came up with Splatfuck or something like that. That was the description of him falling into something.
Yeah,
it was
one I saw a TikTok, and it was a guy's going out to play golf, and he's I was just going to go and play some whack fuck, and you see a guy on the tee, and he hits the ball, and he obviously whack fuck, where he's like shanked the ball left or something like that, and I thought, oh my god, yeah, Splatfuck, that's Brewer falling in the bog. So Captain Splatfuck, if you see him.
Yep. We're 17 minutes in, and we've just had to explain the phrase Splatfuck.
Well, that's the name for this episode this week.
But going back to what we were talking about, weapon systems that I'm running, so I'm probably going to be taking the GMP Stoner, just because it's my go-to. I also have a little New Pro M4 that cost me like £25. I think I don't even know what New Pro it is, but it just works brilliantly.
What was that?
That's the little tan M4 sort of style platform I've got.
Oh, I know. Yeah, is that like the spec? Is that the one that's got the built-in suppressor, or the noise amplifier on the end of it, like a Sound Hog?
It's not built in, but it's got a little suppressor on the end of it.
I wonder if that's similar to the Cybergun one. I'm sure they call it the Spec Ops Carbine or something like that, or Special Forces Carbine. It's that's like a micro M4. It's a really, really short system.
Oh, this isn't that short. This is probably yay big, but I mean, in comparison to the GMP Stoner, it's obviously quite a substantial.
Yeah, I'm with you. Oh, okay.
CQB and stuff like that. But for just like nipping around and being lightweight, it's quite good fun. So
nice, mate, nice.
Yeah, we have. So Rage has just asked. So you guys booked onto the Legion event at the end of March. Are you on the multi-glam side? We have.
We are indeed, mate. Yeah, I'm actually very impressed with our turnout for this one.
Yep, we've managed to get a sizable amount of our team.
14 strong, with a couple of rented guns have come in there to bolster the ranks. So we are excited for that. Mr. Brewer, Mr. Rapson, Mr. Plain. Is that it? 3 of them?
Yeah. I'm not sure. I
outsiders.
I often avoid listing people in case you forget someone.
3 outsiders we're welcoming into the nest.
So I know Rage is probably booked on for the Op4, I believe.
I think they are, yeah.
So if you are Rage, bring a spatula and we can have a spatch off at Legion as well.
Bloody right, I know.
Fresh Meat, is it the New Pro Defender? It possibly is. It's basically this little plastic rifle somebody was selling for like 25 quid. And I was like, well, 25 quid, why would you not?
Why would you not?
It's just perfect. It just works absolutely perfect. So that's what I'll be taking.
I'm back at it again. You know it, mate. Absolutely.
So yeah, I mean the JTF, I don't want to kind of give it away too much, but from my understanding, JTF are there to sort of support what's the storyline? I think it's just this is really bad because this shows that I haven't genned up quite as much as I probably should have done on the actual storyline. But I think there's local sort of militia forces that I think JTF are sort of there overwatching or stuff. I don't really know. So I think PMC is just kind of causing chaos. There's a really good storyline basically, and it's so detailed that I can't remember it all.
See, I don't do that. See, I don't, because if I read this storyline, and I do it all the time, I read it about 48 hours before I go. Because if I read it 2 weeks ago, I'll think, oh, I've read it, I don't need to read it again. And then I'll get to the event and I'll be like, oh, fuck, I can't remember that bit. I can't remember that bit. So I give it till like Thursday evening or sort of Thursday daytime when I'm at home doing bits and bobs. I should just give myself an hour and just sit down and just go through all the have a read through all the spreadsheets and bits and bobs that gets posted. And then it's sort of fresh in your mind. Then you're not going to get there and go, oh yeah, I remember reading that like 2 weeks ago, and it was some dude was do that, and then that happened. Otherwise it's just too much to take in too far away from the event. Do you know what I mean?
Well, I mean, they also get events confused. I've had that before, where you've got sort of like 3 or 4 events lined up.
That happened to me last year, I think. I think my head nearly exploded at one point. I think my missus just found me in an airing cupboard, just fucking shaking like that.
Wait, am I like the North Dion gang forces, or am I can't remember who I am?
It's the Airsoft's after me again. So yeah, I won't be making that mistake.
But I will be there with a couple of the guys from the chat. So Andy previously said he has me, no Lance. I'll look after him. So Andy and I are going to be running around having a bit of a laugh. Not read the backstory.
I can see a love triangle forming here. And I like it. I like it a lot.
If I see Lance, I'm aiming for wounding shots as I want to see him hopping around the woods.
No, that's not nice. No one likes that. That's just not cricket.
Kel says, "Evening lads, CNN."
Evening lads, CNN.
Honestly, sometimes I get messages on here. I've got no idea what that means.
I don't know what it means. Am I not up to date with current lingo? Or should
Thanks,
I be?
BBC.
Is a story breaking on CNN, Sky News? Other news platforms are available.
Except the Sun. Don't.
Yeah, the Sun. Yeah. And what's the other one on Facebook that puts up where there's going to be a snowstorm in the middle of July?
Oh, the Onion News Network.
No, it's an actual it's like, is it the Telegraph or something like that? Yeah, it's some news thing on Facebook. It's like Bleast from the East. It's like just middle of August. What are you on about? 10 foot of snow coming this Sunday. Oh, shut up! It's ridiculous.
I don't know what you're talking about. To be fair, that's as random as.
I'm talking about snow, Mike. You know bad weather, snow. Yeah, whatever. Just because you're JTF. I see. You've gone JTF now because you signed JTF. You've gone all ignorant.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
I'm too far above you.
yeah.
There's a good point Andy's making though about the medic rules. So he said I can't wait to do some real ham acting. Basically, the medic rules for Okto are a little bit different to normal. So there's a few events which it's basically skirmish rules across the country. You get hit, you throw your hand up and shout hit. With Okto, it's very different. If you get hit in different parts of the body, it depends on how wounded you are and how injured you are. And then the preference is that you don't hit. Yeah, you need to. If you've been shot in the leg, you need a medic. You shout for a medic. You scream as if you've been shot in the leg, basically. So it's all about trying to boost. Don't do it too much like Josh, who actually the actual overall owner of Gunman, who did it at an event, didn't he? And the guy was actually genuinely stopped and went, "Oh my god, mate, are you okay?" And he's like, "Yeah, I'm just method acting." And he just got called a prick really loudly, and the guy carried on running. I remember he told when we interviewed him, he's like, "Yeah, I was there." I was like, "Oh my god!" And he's like, "You all right?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm acting." Prick, fucking run off. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I mean, there is a counter argument to that, isn't there? Which is, we've had this chat before, but with the throwing your hand up and shouting hit, you generally know that the person you are shooting at has been hit, and therefore you can stop shooting them. But
however, writhing around on the floor, going, "My arm, medic, my arm."
True.
Also,
it does make a big difference.
I've been shot, and I think I believe it isolates. If you got, say for example, you get shot in the right arm, I believe you can switch to your secondary and use your left and things like that. And if you get shot in the left,
I'll be honest with you, I haven't genned up on everything.
The thing is as well, we've always said this, it's hard to remember it because it's the only place that does this medic rule. and like sort of acting rule, if you like, immersion rule. And you get shot in the leg and you think, oh fuck, hit, and you lay on the floor and you're like, oh, injured. But it's like you could have crawled to somebody on your other leg, but you've just been laying there in the path like a huge roadblock that I would be laying there like, oh my arm. Like you've been shot in the arm, you can still move. Oh yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, right. Oh, come in. Oh, help me.
Oh, that was definitely a fault. I can't remember which event it now was, but there was definitely a fault with our team because we were so used to these other rules. We're sort of shooting people, and they seem to be medicing really quickly, and then we're getting shot and just sort of sitting there like, oh, we're dead now. So I think there was an element that, definitely re-upped the rules.
It does
properly.
take a bit of getting used to. I'm sure people have gone, oh, he's fucking not taking his hits. It's like, well, no, you shot him in the arm. Oh yeah, bugger.
Yeah.
Forgot about that. That's gonna be good.
So on to tonight's main topic of conversation.
Yes.
So we're obviously talking about how to put your kit away after you get back from an event. So it's a little bit backwards in terms of we are on our way to an event this weekend. So this might have been a better topic for next week. But next week we're going to be having Andy Bob on.
Well, it depends how this weekend goes.
The plan is for Andy Bob to come on next week, and we're going to be doing our MilSim rolls too. We'll be talking about rifles and LMGs.
Mm-hmm.
So Andy and I get to have a bit of a LMG loving.
Oh yeah, that sounds wonderful.
Yeah, just quietly, just rapidly aiming and firing without actually targeting the enemy.
I can just picture you two now, just laying there going,
just spray and pray.
Do it again.
Somebody please soundbite that from Lance and turn it into a ringtone. So
no, it's got to have you at the end going, do it again. Oh dear, we'll wait with bated breath.
In terms of obviously you get back from an event. What's the first thing you do when you unpack, Lance?
First thing for me is I always go down the electrics route because that's sort of like a thing for like if it's been foul weather, bad weather, blah blah blah. So comms, batteries out the guns, batteries out the torches, anything electronic basically. I'll get all that sorted out, squared away. Power banks, cables, get all them out. If they need drying, get them dry. If they need charging, get them charged. Radios, obviously, give them a dust off and a brush up, get them on charge. Depends on when your next game is. I mean, Christ, we've got the SEO game, and then I've got the following one weekend and the following weekend at Legion. So I've got to get back, get it all prepped, pack it all up again, get ready for the next weekend. So that's going to be a quick turnaround on all my preps. But yeah, for me, it's definitely the first thing is get through the door. First thing I have to do, is go straight to the throne. That's what I do, and that's a little bit of unpack. That's some essential unpacking done right there. When I get back,
just munching biscuits fruit on your way in.
Just help me release this demon. But yeah, and after that, it's all the electrics, anything electronic, get it done if you can. Get the old can of air. You can get them in the pound shop, 99p keyboard. The old compressed air spray cleaners, get that round there, get it all cleaned up, nice and done. If it's been like, proper gipping wet, air in cupboard, lay it on a towel, air in cupboard, nice and warm. Do that, get it all dry, get it all squared away. Then for me, it'd be tents, anything that's got wet, basically, your tent, get it hung up in the garage or get it hung up over the shower door in the bathroom if you're in a flat or you haven't got a back garden or whatever, or garage or shed. In the loft, do what you can, put a couple of towels down. I've done it in the loft a couple of times where I put a bit of plastic sheeting down with a couple of old towels on the top, and then just peg my basher up in there, let it all drip onto the towels. No dramas, no worries. Get all that dried out, get your sleeping bags washed. Usual admin bits. But priority for me is the electronics first. Make sure it's sort of critical. Get all that squared away.
Have you ever considered the? I've recently purchased some of these, the little like desiccant packets, whatever they're called, like the moisture absorbers.
Yeah. You get them in like your new shoes and stuff like that. Always great to keep hold of. Yeah, really good, really handy to keep hold of now. But you can't buy them.
Especially if you've been out and about. The number of times that I've recently seen on Facebook that people have been out for a skirmish and then they throw their guns in their gun cases, whatever, they lock them away for a couple of months. COVID's obviously been restricting people a little bit. They come out, it's time to airsoft. They get the guns out and it's basically just covered in rust, bits and pieces of mold growing here and there. So obviously moisture is definitely something to get rid of.
100%, yeah. Get it, yeah. And I always keep my guns in the loft. It gets cold up here. It gets really cold up here. I've never had any problems with it. It's cold, but it's dry. Do you know what I mean? That's the thing about it. Here's the difference between it being like cold and damp. This is it's a dry, cold loft. So I've never had it. These have been kept up here for 6 years plus now. Even my M14, which I haven't used in years, chucked a battery in it the other day. I put a couple of mags through it, cleans the whistle, give it a little clean change the hot rubber, change the nub, clean the barrel, put the old barrel back in. So I'm still waiting on Empire Airsoft to get back to me on a quote. So Kenny, if you're out there, please get back to me. And I put a couple of mags through that, absolutely fine, and that's been kept up here for God knows how long. I haven't used it for years. I mean, it's been 3 years probably since that thing's been shot, easily, and it's just good as gold. So yeah, it's definitely just the storage capabilities, but like getting shelters dry, because it will, like Mike just said, anything that gets wet, and if you just leave it packed wet, it will rot and it will fucking stink, and it'll be beyond cleaning and beyond health. It'll just be a case of binning it and starting again. Especially with canvas stuff and things like that, belt kits, webbing, bags, the surplus sort of bag sort of thing. Even some of the new kit, it will just get beyond. If you leave it up there for a year, it will be minging. If you leave it up there soaking wet, you've got to dry it. Got to get it.
It's why surplus shops smell like surplus shops.
Yeah, that smell. Oh.
Yeah, I mean, it is a nice smell in a surplus shop.
If only you could get that in a potpourri, I'd have it. Missus will come into the living room and be like, what is that? I mean, that, love, is surplus.
That is eau de surplus.
Eau de surplus. Eau de surplus. Yeah, brilliant.
How about, so obviously talking about drying kit off and stuff, sweat is also another thing to consider. So I've learned this firsthand with running around on a hot day. Basically, the goggle strap that I was wearing got particularly moist, and then I left it in my bag for probably about 2 months. Mold started to grow, so it's always definitely worth considering. Anything that's basically going to pick up sweat off your body. So gloves are a major one. I don't know if you've ever encountered the smell of.
They stink. They fucking stink. It doesn't matter what you do. The gloves will stink.
Yeah,
you got to wash them.
These ones you can actually put in the wash.
Gloves.
Yeah, I think you can. Depending
my mechanics gloves and that, I've always washed them. I've never had any problem with any. And I think all the polymer, not polymer.
It's like the silicone rubber.
Silicone rubber covering. It's all stitched anyhow. It's not glued. Yeah. I don't think it's all heavily stitched, so there's no chance of it being. I won't wash it on a 60 or anything like that. Stick it on a 30 or stick it on a cold wash. But you got to wash them. I'm all for getting the smell of the environment and keeping you like no one wants to go out stinking of dads, but fuck you, it becomes a point where you're walking around and all you can smell is old sweating fingers. Yeah, whatever you touch, it's just like, nah. Sorry,
it's when you go to eat something, and you're like, oh, I don't want to eat this.
Well, when you take the glove off and you just reveal it's a smell of victory, isn't it?
Yeah.
You're like that. Fuck, that stinks. You are rotten to the core.
Do you ever getting washed? With sweat, like plate carriers and stuff like that? How do you deal with a sweaty plate carrier?
I don't. That's one thing that don't get washed.
Do you ever use like a Febreze or anything like that?
No. Do you know what? No, I've never actually smelt my plate. I don't think it smells really. I'm not. It certainly doesn't smell enough for me to notice it. Now, whether I'm chucking up to everyone else.
Here comes Smelly Lance again.
Oh, look, here he comes in his smelly plate carrier. But that was so yeah. Well, when will I be wearing my DCS next? Probably be Legion. So if I am smelly at Legion, please let me know.
That's our test. That's our litmus test.
Yes, yeah. Not that to say anything. Just walk up to people. Just stand really close to them on the when you're getting chronoed. Hi.
Danny's just say cheese.
Cheese. Yeah. Smells of cheese and nuggets. That's what it smells like.
See, I generally tend to use like a Febreze every once in a while. Not because it's particularly smelly, but just sort of trying to keep it a little bit fresh for the next time.
You've got to stay fresh. Man, got to be fresh. Man, fresh.
Exactly. I mean, to be fair, the Warrior DCS that I've got has like almost like a sponged, like really, really open cell foam thing.
On the inside edge. Yeah, I noticed that. It's very breathable.
But that seems pretty good for sort of wicking moisture away from the plate carrier itself. Whereas previous sort of Condor Sentry, I think I had, didn't really have the same thing. It was a lot more sort of closed. It had something in there, but it wasn't quite the same. Yeah. And that used to pick up a lot more moisture.
You can get a divider now, though, can't you? Which actually creates a void between you and the rig, so it'll let air circulate. I'm sure I can't think of the name of it off the top of my head, but you can pick them up for obviously, I think would they sit behind the plate, or would they actually affix to the inside outer of the rig, if you like? So between you and the rig, would they sit there or within
I'm
it?
not 100% sure. I mean, I have seen ones that actually it's effectively the it's like a mock plate to go in. So it gives you the rigidity, but it just provides more airflow.
It's almost like a honeycomb, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Because you can get the cold ones as well, can't you? That you fill with the water and ice.
Yeah, you can freeze them. Yeah, like essentially freezer blocks, and then over time they become a water supply for yourself.
Paul. Hi, Paul. So that's what the Warrior hexagonal design is for.
There we
exactly
go.
That.
Evening, sir. How's it going? Actually, a little telephone conversation with Mr. Howell the other day regarding
nice.
Legion Airsoft.
Cool.
All good. Ended up in hysterical laughter, as it normally does. Starts off sort of semi-serious. How you doing? How's the fam? And then by the end of it, it's like, I got to go. I can't breathe. So all good fun.
Cool. All good, lads. There we go.
Absolutely. Yes, mate. Yes. And to yourself, sir.
Air drying kit as well. Obviously, like the plate carriers and that. Just make sure they're dry before you put them away.
And like you said, with mold and things you wouldn't expect to get, like you said about your glasses and that, an antibacterial wipe around the lenses, around the nose bit, around all that sort of jazz. You know what I mean? Comms bits, strapping, get all that cleaned up. Because like you said, Mike, you've had fucking ecosystems growing off of yours, haven't you, before?
Yeah. I learned by doing. That's my problem.
Exactly. Yeah, you got to make the opposite. But if you've learned from your mistakes, that's it. That's what you do.
Yes, I have learned from my mistakes.
Yes, you have.
There was another one I was going to mention, which is completely gone from my mind. I can't remember now.
I'll tell you one as
that
well.
was it.
Oh, go on.
Go on.
No.
Okay.
You remember first.
Something I've been getting into the habit of recently is so not so much with the Edge glasses, but any sort of other eye pro I use. Basically getting the the anti-fog stuff on there.
Yeah.
Like before putting them away. So obviously doing the little kind of treatment procedure and then putting them away, so that when you get them back out, you're not having to sit there and do it then. So it's just just that sort of prep.
As the Edge Tactical, have they got their own sort of cleaner that you'd have to use, or can you use any on it? Because I wouldn't.
No, well they've got this.
I didn't think you have to use any cleaners on them, but
no, you don't. So they've got like a vapor shield already on them.
Right.
Now the only thing I have found is that the first pair I've had, I don't know if the vapor shield maybe has worn off. Because I've run them for sort of, it's about 10 events I've used them for. Sort of hit or miss around that sort of time. But I have noticed they now start to fog up a little bit more.
Do they give is there a guarantee on how long it lasts for, this vapor shield?
Not that I have found. No, they just basically claim that they don't fog up because of their anti-fog technology.
Right, but there's no set time period as to how long.
No,
so there's no guarantee that it's going to last you for however long you need it for.
No, I have dropped them a message to see if there's any way of sort of like reapplying or sort of what's the best way to deal with it, but I've not heard back yet. So
right, okay.
Just wait and see on that one.
Yes,
so any kit, just make sure when you put it away, it's just dry. That's the main thing. Is just try and get the moisture out of it.
Yeah, 100%. And anything you can pack away ready for the next one, do it. Might as well, unless you're going to use it for your bushcrafting or wild camping, or there's some bits in there you take on your sort of like your normal leisure camping or whatnot. I can't think what it could be. Maybe a torch or something. But anything you could pack away and get into the habit of packing it away in the same spot that you put it in previously, it'll make it easy for when you go next. I mean, obviously you're going to check it's there before you go. Obviously with your list that you can download from our website. But it's exactly, yeah. But it's a good habit to get into. Do you know what I mean? If you've done all your batteries, all your bits and bobs, cables, leads, put them back in your little stuff sack for your cable. Oh, fucking website. Use the proper one. Stop it.
I don't have the proper one quickly. I'll have to add it in.
Oh, exactly. Yeah. See how much piss taking you've been doing with that. But yeah, getting it back and putting it back in its right stuff sack, packing it in your left-hand rocket pouch, your Bergen, or one of your utility pouches on the front, or whatever it might be. At least it's all stowed away properly, correctly, ready for the next event. And obviously, any of your batteries and that, make sure you store them correctly, store them safely in your old fire-safe LiPo bags or whatever it might be. Somewhere not hot, especially like we said, summer months. If you keep your stuff in the loft, it gets very, very hot. Gas cylinders, batteries, things like that. Downstairs, put them in the cupboard out of the way. If you
talking of batteries, do you drain yours down? So it depends on,
never,
I guess, on the
never.
type of battery.
I'll be brutally honest. I've never done that once in my life.
No.
But it's rare that I use a battery up on a MilSim. Very rare. And I'll check it. I'll see how many volts, how much power it's on there. You know, if it's 3/4 on there, I probably won't bother charging it because it's all well and good charge, but you're sort of decreasing the lifespan of the battery as such. Do you know what I mean? Rather than
You are with lipos. I think lithium ions a bit different.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really need to worry anymore because I've got that Titan one, which is just fucking monstrous. And you know, it's probably gonna outlive me. I'd have thought. Do you know what I mean? I mean, it's 60,000 milliamp hours, Mike, or whatever it is. It's ridiculous. I mean, I bought it because I can't help myself, but I can't think of why I'd need 60,000 milliamp hours of batteries life stored. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, this thing, I mean, I've been running Titan batteries now.
To that, it's just like I never was to run out of power with a 2,500 milliamp hour battery. So why would you need a 60,000 one? Whatever it is, it's mental. But there we go. I've got one, so I'm not going to complain.
Yeah. Have you? I mean, I've been using Titan now for probably about 6 to 8 months, and they're not a sponsor. I was just going to show the patch because I've got this recently, which is quite like. But I don't think I've had any problems with the Titan batteries at all. Like I've run like multiple events off one battery now. I'm always sort of seeing how far it will go.
Yeah,
maybe I'm just not shooting.
I mean, I'm really. Do you know what? I might charge it. Do you know what? That's what I'm going to do. There, I'm going to charge it, and then I'm going to use it until it dies for the coming events. I won't charge it in between them. There's going to be that's a challenge accepted. Set myself. So I'm going to charge it for this weekend. I'm going to charge it for this weekend, and I'm going to use it until it's gone. I'll have backups with me, so you know, not the end of the world if it does die. But I'll see how long I can go before I have to recharge it. I won't run it till it's completely dead. I'll run it until I start noticing a performance difference in the rifle, where it starts to slug off a little bit and things like that. Do you know what I mean? So, do Titan batteries need a special charger? No. You'll have you've got your Dean's connector, mate, and your little micro, almost like micro white USB thing. Plug that in on your balance charger into your Dean's. Bosh, off you go. Yeah, they come Dean's connected already, so there's no fucking about it. I can't recommend my one enough. Mine's downstairs in my crate because I'm sorting my kit out for the weekend, so. Otherwise, I'd grab it, but yeah, brilliant. I can't force it, but I'm going to do that.
What chargers do you use? Just out of interest, I don't think we've ever had that.
My charger is made by is it Turnigay?
Yeah, that's one. I thought that might be. So it's the standard little kind of rectangular box.
It's like a black rectangle, yellow. It's got yellow Turny writing on it, blue LED readout, and it's got like a multi adapter thing on it to balance charge. It's got loads of fucking options and that on it, but. Yeah, I always use it. And obviously charging my batteries, they're always in a LiPo safe, you know, the silvery sort of space bag or box you can get. Highly recommend getting one of them just for the safety. You know, don't charge it on the floor, charge it on the hard surface, charge it on the kitchen counter or something like that.
I always charge mine near a fairly openable door or orifice.
Yeah. I mean, the best place I do mine is in the, I've got a socket in the kitchen near the kitchen window. So obviously I've got a hard kitchen worktop. I'm at home when things are being charged up. You know, don't leave house with it being charged. You know, always wait until you hear charged, which is always good. So it's a chance to catch up on some war films and that, get yourself in the mood for an event. Charging your batteries, so, charging my toy gun batteries. Like, watch 12 strong. Yes, let's get in the mood.
Braveheart.
Let's watch Braveheart. Brilliant. Yeah. Safety first, guys.
Freshman says, "I love my Titans. Really good in the LMG." Yeah, I mean, they're just ridiculous batteries, basically.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, I use mine on my 249. If I switch out my 249 from a DMR, I chuck it in that. I use it in my M4. I use it. I can't fit it in the MP5 because my Titan battery is actually bigger than the MP5. So I'll essentially be firing an MP5 out of my battery. I'll be holding the Titan with the MP5 at the end of it. This is ridiculous.
Just sniper taping the battery to the side of it.
That's it, exactly. Yeah. What's that on that bipod? Oh, it's my Titan battery. Did you not see it? It's at the back of my MP5. Just a little bipod legs come out for it. Fucking great big thing. It's cool though. They are wicked bit of kit.
Yeah. About mags, unloading mags. It's always. I'm always in two minds about unloading mags. It depends on the length of the time between one event to the next. as to
Well,
whether
for
I probably
me
want
now,
to do so,
well, for
and
me
the
now,
type of BB that's in them as well. That
exactly that, yeah. Because I've gone full bio now, so I buy as much BBs as I need for it. So I used to stockpile BBs. I don't know if anyone else has had a penchant for that. When you took out Airsoft, you need to have like a whole shelf full of fucking thousands upon thousands of BBs. I mean, I've still got a bottle of BBs there. I can see them now, and they're the what's the one, the devil
Diablo.
Doobly Perkins, yeah, 2.28, still a full 3,300 in a bottle. I must have bought them 6 years ago. They're not biodegradable. It's all sealed up in the box, still in a nice dark loft. Nothing's going to happen to them. Lovely. But now I buy, I'll just get as and when I need them. Is he frozen? He's back.
No.
You sort of blinked really slowly. Then you went like, whoa. Yeah. So I'll just get as I need. And then when it comes to the mags at the end, normally 9 times out of 10, I might have a few left, but then I'll use that for a little bit of plinking over the woods in between events. Just get myself a little fresh batch for the next one.
So, I mean, the reason for anyone new to this, the reason obviously emptying your mags out is that the magazines are obviously effectively powered by the springs. If you constantly apply compression to a spring, it loses its ability to decompress, which obviously means the mags lose their efficiency effectively. So you might find that over the space of a period of time that the mag sort of struggles to push those last few BBs out, and eventually it would just basically just fucks up the mag.
Yeah, some people say leave a few in there just to keep a little bit of tension on the spring. Like it's obviously like with your gas mags, leave a bit of the gas in there to keep the O-rings and that sort of.
Well, I think the gas is slightly different, isn't it? Because obviously you're trying to maintain the seals on gas.
Yeah, but then I've heard that obviously because of the spring in like a mid cap or something, that some people to say rather than you shouldn't really empty them out totally because it just completely relaxes the spring. Whereas if you have like say a dozen in there, 20 rounds in there, maybe it keeps that elasticity on it. I don't know. It could be bollocks. I don't know.
Yeah.
Some of my mags have BBs in, some of them don't.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not an expert on that, but I don't understand the theory of leaving it slightly compressed. I mean, maybe there is some benefit to that, but I would have thought you'd want to uncompress
maybe it's keeping it under tension slightly. I don't
know. Paul said, Paul said previously, always empty mags out, M4 and sidearm. Completely agree. Short term, leave gas in. Long term, maintenance, gas for storage. Yeah. Nice. I mean, I know that there's something to obviously do like green gas, whatever. There's like the silicon in it. It sort of just keeps things a little bit.
Yeah, it adds a seal in it, like a Vaseline seal over the O-ring, stop them drying out, going crispy.
Yeah, you don't want a crispy O-ring.
There's nothing worse. Nothing worse than a crispy O-ring. But you can get creams for
it. Andy says 100% only if my LMG box mag full as it's motorized. Yeah, see, that's the other thing. So with not speed loaders, high capacity mags or LMG mags, Paul just got some Vaseline in that ring, mate.
You know it.
I don't know whether you need to, because obviously, like with a self-winding mag or anything like that, obviously it applies a pressure to the system. So obviously the BBs are obviously under a compression in some way to force them out. So I don't know whether it's probably best you can leave the BBs in like the main canister, but maybe just decompress the allow them out of the tube. So for example, with the box mag here, this is a good example because I've actually got this one wound up.
Yeah, I have as well. Look. Oh wow, look at that.
So maybe it would be best to let them out of the tube so the tube's empty and then just stop it from auto winding. So you can leave the mag full of BBs.
But then is that all right for storage? I mean, suppose bios, could you do that with them? Because it's not like an air. Well, I don't know. Fuck knows. Really.
No, well, that's the thing with bios. So Rage has asked about bios, and we'll come back to that in a second. But some of the bios I've seen don't come in airtight bags.
No.
So like Jeff's, for example. So I don't know how they biodegrade because I would have thought that if they're made, because I was under the impression they like decompose in oxygen. But then if you've got it in a bag that's not airtight, then theoretically aren't they like degrading from the start?
I don't know. I don't know if a little bit of good quality H2O has to come in there somewhere.
I'm
not sure. I'll have to look into it. I mean, for Rage's question, from my point of view, why I swapped to bios is because the private site that I have been lucky enough to be allowed to use. It's not an airsoft site; it's just a private area of woodland. The landowner has insisted he only wants bio BBs on there, which is okay, fair enough. And to save me getting mixed up with bloody non-bio and bios and what's in that speed load and what's that, I've just completely blanketed. Got finished off my last of my real ones. What event was I at last? Whatever the event I was last at, towards the end of last year. And I'm just sort of I use Jeff's a lot. To be honest, I've not noticed any difference, and that's what I wanted to see when I first tested them. I got I did a couple of mags of bios, a couple of mags of non-bio, if you like, or standard. And what I wanted was I didn't want to notice any difference whatsoever. And to be fair, I haven't. So performance-wise, from my point of view, bio BBs, they've made no difference on range, accuracy, anything like that at all. I've got just as good performance from my M4, from my DMR on Jeff's bios than I have on the standard ones I used prior to that, just switching over. So I'm happy to carry on using bios. You know, if they are made from single-use plastics and all that sort of business as well, getting rid of that sort of jazz. And if it does take them 10 years to break down or however long it takes them, at least they're still breaking down. Do you know what I mean? So that's my outlook on it.
I've always been interested to know whether bio BBs, and I have done a bit of research on this because at one point we're going to get someone come on the show to talk about bio BBs.
Yeah, definitely.
But I've still not found the answer to this. But I'd be interested to know if bio BBs just break down into smaller plastics.
Well, no, because they're not made of plastic, are they?
Well, I don't know. That's the thing. I think I've seen
hardened yeasts and vegetable oils and things like that in there and bits and bobs.
Oh, possibly.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I'll find it, and if I can find the video, is there a video I saw on YouTube, or it was a link I found on Google's, and I'll find it and I'll post it up. There's actually some good reading because it actually sort of broke the actual BB apart, and they actually told you what some of the makeup was, or sort of a standard makeup. What class is a bio BB as a bio BB? Basically, I think that's what I actually searched. So if you do search that, you might well find the article. I think it's an American article I read up on it, which was very interesting.
I mean, it must be doable to make them properly plant-based because I know Lego are pushing. Obviously, Lego their entire business.
Right.
Is
yeah,
plastic.
Exactly, mate. Yeah,
but
then it's not single-use plastics. In Lego, you can build anything. You should know. You love a bit of Lego.
I love Lego, and that is the best argument for single-use plastic. It's reusable. You can't.
Yeah. I could have a house. I could have a castle. I could have a rocket ship. I could have a whale.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay,
multiple uses to this brick. It's a brick.
Paul says biodegradable BBs are made out of polylactide, PLA. PLA is made from renewable materials such as certain starches or corns. As a result of this, they generally tend to cost more than non-biodegradable materials, but do break down after 90 days in most facilities and conditions. You see, that would be my concern, though, is if they're breaking down or they're starting to break down about 90 days, then obviously, Google. Thanks, Paul. If they're starting to break down,
I was pondering that, and I thought he can't have literally pulled that out of the top of his can.
Literally, Paul's an expert on biodegradable BBs.
Like Dumbledore, just got his magic wand out and gone, flicked it at the screen.
Yeah. But that 90 days, though, because, I mean, obviously, I don't know how other people buy BBs, but for me, I kind of tend to do, like, big batch buys. It just saves money on postage, ultimately. So if they're breaking down after 90 days... if I'm buying the load for the year, that might be a bit of a problem.
I don't know why would you need to for a year?
It just saves on postage. I usually just buy a load of BBs all at once. So, the last order I bought was in the region I think 4,000 or 5,000 BBs. No, that's too few. Would have been a lot more than that. It was like 4 or 5 bags of BBs basically.
Well, you think one sort of standard bottle? I mean, that sort of bottle size is about 3,300, 3,500. You usually get in a sort of bottle like that.
Yeah, I think I bought 4 or 5 bags of 5,000 rounds.
Oh, mind you do LNG a lot, don't you?
Yeah.
Bless.
Which is why I'm even more keen to use the bios. So I'm sort of running Jeff's at the moment. Just because with the LMG, you are basically just throwing plastic out at people.
Yeah, and I mean the Jeff's ones I've used. I mean I use them in my DMR, so I use 3.6s and 4.3s depending on how it's running in my DMR. And it's been brilliant. Yeah, and I've never had a blemish. I've never opened it. I've never had one that's fucking. Sometimes you can sort of see them a mile away if there's one sort of not quite perfect. But these have been brilliant. I've never had a stoppage. I've never had them leave any coating inside me in a barrel. I've put when I first got my DMR back from Giuseppe from me doing his mods, must have put 12, 13 mags through. So a good over 1,000 rounds for it. and I cleaned the barrel afterwards. And you know what? There was not a blemish of any coating off of a BB or anything like that at all. Whereas, like, I know tracer BBs, you will get a little bit of like coating on the internal bit of your barrel. So it's good, always good to give your barrel a clean up after the event, especially if you've done night games for the tracer rounds. They can be a bit of a bastard. But yeah, not a blemish. It was almost like the BBs were cleaning the barrel as they went along. all the little bio drones inside my BB were like, ooh, grabbing the dust as we go down the barrel.
Well, it's like
they obviously weren't.
Fairy bio. It cleans it whiter than white, doesn't it? Yeah. Andy says the older ones used to be 90 days. A lot of the new ones last a little longer and only start to degrade once they're wet and under pressure, i.e. underground, from what I understand.
Yes.
See, this is the thing. This is the thing I find a little bit difficult, is the fact that I think ultimately everyone's quite happy to go bio as long as there's no risk to jams. And
I think jams will still be available, mate. I don't think they're going to go down that far. They can't, if there's a risk to jams not being available anymore, then I'll go back to standards because I love a bit of jam.
Okay, thanks, Lance, for your input.
That's all right.
I'm here a week.
Thank you very much. Taxi for one.
Oh, Paul says, part of me thinks fuck it. The other part is thinking it's a responsibility we all have to protect the environment, especially people slinging 6,000 plus BBs on a Saturday and Sunday skirmish. I completely agree.
Yeah,
you know, and that's ultimately because I mean, generally, airsoft is actually quite preserving of the environment for the most part. Like, you know, there's a lot of woodland sites that are staying as woodland and not being built on and stuff like that.
Yeah, true.
I don't think many developers have ever gone, oh, we won't build on that site because it's an airsoft site. But you know, at least it's a use of the land that's retaining it in its a bit of natural beauty. But
definitely, yeah.
And Andy says, I love jam.
I love jam, mate. But going back to what Paul said, you know, you've got Biff and Chip turn up with their dual wielding M4s with drum mags on each of them, just like, you know, it's like fucking. They've probably fired in that first game what I would probably fire in perhaps 2 MilSim events out of their M4s, and that's just straight up. I reckon that's probably pretty accurate.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I mean, what do I run? I run 620 round mid caps when I go out, and rarely have I had to sort of call a QRF and get a resupply of ammo and things like that. I've usually got 1 or 2 mags left when we go back in. Do you know what I mean? So that's, let's say maybe I've done what 400 rounds ish, maybe for that. I might do that twice over. So I reckon I might fire 1,500 rounds over a weekend, and if that's really going at it as well.
Yeah.
Christ.
Yeah, I mean, skirmish days, you see kids loading up 5 or 6 high caps between games, don't you?
Do you know what I mean? It's just like, wow, you've got 6 high cap mags and you've got 500 rounds a piece on each of their magazines there. Do you know what I mean? You've got 3, you're going out with 3,000 up all the time. It's just like, whoa. It's a lot to think about.
I love jam.
We're jamming.
Yeah, Paul said otherwise paintball players might as well use lead-based paint.
That's it. Yeah. Lead-based paint.
Going back to the magazines, the auto winding, there isn't a spring in the box mags. The ones I've always taken apart. It's just a motor and a feeding wheel, so keeping it under tension wouldn't affect it. That's interesting. I didn't know that. Thanks, Andy.
Thanks, friend. Oh, LMG friend. Oh, JTF friend.
Paul says 15 players with the ASPIC Rambo package used 5,000 BBs in 1/2 of game 1. Blimey. That is a lot of BBs.
There you go. It must look like it's fucking snowed up there.
Andy runs APOC, sorry. Andy runs an LMG. So obviously last skirmish he played, he went through, no word of a lie, 6,000 rounds that would have lasted me at least 3 or 4 sims.
Skirmishing's expensive, man. You do that Sunday, week in, week out.
It's just herding cats as well.
I'm just like, mate.
Right, so what else we got? What about food? I mean, obviously, I know we had a bit of a joke beforehand, like leftover food and stuff like that. But if we talk about cooked
with me, there wouldn't be any leftover food, so that's a tick.
Let's talk about cook sets as part of that though as well. So I mean,
I cross that one off when I leave the site, baby. No food left in here.
So in terms of the gas, like the little cans of gas that you use. So if you're using a gas system, I know I find it a little bit tricky sometimes to work out if I'm taking 1 or 2 gas cans with me to an event because I don't want to run out. So you do the classic little shake and you sort of find out if it's you get a rough feel about how much. But I mean, obviously storing gas, don't store it in like the loft. It's a silly place to store it. Especially in the summer, because you will just end up with a little bomb basically going off up there. And it's the same, I guess, with obviously mags as well. Any sort of green gas or anything like that. Thanks, Ray.
Tranger!
Captain Tranger comes storming in.
Tranger. That is a T-shirt right there. There's a T-shirt coming his way in 2022. Guarantee Captain Tranger.
Yeah, no gas needed for a Trangia, problem solved. Yeah, completely agree. But let's imagine, Lance, that you come back from an event and you've still got some food left.
I'd give it to my children.
Give it to your children, all right. Fine.
Well, I feel like that. No. Yeah. I mean, obviously, if it's not been opened and it's not been like sat outside in the burning sunshine and you've kept it sort of packed away in the dark corner of your Bergen, I can't see it being a problem to be stored away again. If there's a chance that it's got, pack smart as well. Don't be taking too much grub with you. If you have to. I know we're trying to get away from the whole, I could just go back to the car sort of mindset. Car's gone. However, for instances like that, if you're unsure about what food you're going to be taking, when you're then keeping it in the car in the summer, that's going to be fucking hotter, isn't it? It's a tough one.
Well,
personally, for me, I've bought. I'm not going to tell people to do this because it's each to their own. But personally, from my point of view, I've gone on to an event in the summer and I've taken ration packs with me. And I've not eaten all the meals I've taken, and I've had 1 or 2 chicken tikka and rices left over, and I've just slung them back in the box when I got home, and I've used them on the next event, and they've been absolutely fine. And I've been fine ever since. All right. No, but seriously, no. All joking aside, I've been fine. So, I'm not telling people that's what you should do. I'm not saying you should any food you've not used, you should throw it away because it's going to be spoiled and horrible and it make you terribly ill. It's up to you. If from my point of view, if the packaging has not been broken or damaged or seals been ripped or anything like that, then I can't see it being a problem. I'm not telling you to do that, but that's what I do. It's fine.
Les says it's hard for someone with diabetes with what food to take.
I can imagine, Les, actually. Yeah, I don't know, yeah. I suppose it's just
especially because a lot of the MREs are all high calorie and stuff like that, aren't
they?
High
calorie, high sugar content. It's for that energy, isn't it? So, and then again, I'm guessing, I know Mountain Warehouse, their freeze-dried meals are very, very good from a health point of view. If that's obviously they're a slightly lower calorie count, but then it's not like we're going to be yomping the sort of kit that real soldiers are going to be requiring that amount of calories for. I know we still do burn through calories as you would do, you'd take part in physical activity, but obviously not to the extent that they would be. But yeah, I know Mountain Warehouse, they're free.
You see some of the people on MilSims, I'm pretty certain they consume more calories than they're burning. I know I'm sometimes subject to that.
Guilty as fucking charged, sir.
Oh yeah, I better have some more sweets because of all these calories I've been burning around. So you've been on stag for the last 2 hours.
Just sitting like that. Got 4 empty squishies packets around you, getting all paranoid as fuck. But yeah, no, Mountain Warehouse, I've seen they're freeze dried. If you want sort of like a Rat Pack esque type meal, Les, Mountain Warehouse, mate, they're freeze dried stuff. That's usually quite good. I'm not saying it's not diabetic friendly or anything like that, mate. It's a shitter, that, isn't it? Diabetes. Blue ribbons. There we go. Just scrape the chocolate off. You're sorted. Diabetic friendly. Take a cheese grate with you. Grate the chocolate onto me, and then you eat the wafer. We're sorted. I mean, like, onto my like hot chocolate. I didn't mean grate me. Grate chocolate on me. But here you go.
Yeah. Fresh Meat says he stores all of his gas cans in his daughter's room. It's much safer. Probably not for your daughter, but I'll go with it.
Hilarious. Yeah. Keep all my loaded mags under my wife's pillow. And my pyro, for that matter.
So, talking about one last thing I kind of wanted to go back on specifically was obviously for me, I always need to I always need to put stuff. Sorry, Les has just shouted, "It's coming."
I'm not sure if he's on some sort of sexual text chat, and he's mistakenly messaged it in here.
Something I wanted to go back and recover.
Les, get back to us. Let us know, mate. This is live.
What's coming, Les?
What's coming, Les? Let's run for cover. Get in the cupboard.
So you can't value enough of the if you put your kit away properly, it just makes life a lot easier when you're getting out the next time.
Yeah, exactly that, mate. 100%.
And I know that's easier said than done, and it's a little bit of a kind of oversimplification. But I mean, I've been finding this. I've sort of been going through my stuff over the last few weeks.
It's getting weird. Oh dear.
Oh dear. Yeah, I've been finding this the last few weeks is just if you can get your stuff organised, it means that you know where stuff is, it's going to be ready for you to go. It's none of that last minute packing because I mean I know that there was one of the chats I'm in for this weekend. Somebody was saying packing for the event is almost like the equivalent of the event itself. It's you're obviously worrying about making sure you brought everything. You want to make sure you got all your bases covered because otherwise we've said this a lot before. Obviously. You turn up to an event, you could have the best mindset in the world, but if you have a shit night's sleep, it's going to ruin that mindset and it's going to ruin the event for you.
Yeah, exactly that, mate. It's all about getting your preps post and after the game. Like Mike said there, packing it all away as best you can as to how you'd have it for the next one. Obviously, you are going to check over all your kit anyhow, but just getting into that habit. And then I'm going to do it tomorrow. And like I said, I can't find my Mylar sleep mat, which I'm sort of relying on. Because it's a wicked bit of kit. It was cheap as chips. It was about £6-7. It's just a little roll mat size Mylar blanket with a tiny little thin bit of foil in there, but it's the actual outer material which just reflects that heat back up at you. I'll put that inside my bivvy bag on top of my I was about to say AeroPress then. What is it? The AeroPress is the coffee.
No, that's fine. I just go watch you struggle.
No, I don't watch you struggle. You're such an arsehole this evening. Come on, tell me.
Your sleep mat.
Yeah, but what is it?
Well, yours specifically, I don't know what yours is, but
no, we've both got the same one. It's the Thermarest. Thank you. I don't know how AeroPress or Thermarest. I don't know how they're together, but yeah. So that just sit on top of that. But it's one of those things, and it's having your list there to be able to go through and think, oh fuck, where is that? And that's what I was doing. I was going through my list and going, where is that fucking Mylar? So I'm gonna have to quick dig around for that in a minute. It's definitely up here somewhere. I'll find it. Little devil's hiding from me. So but yeah, it's just squaring all them bits away. Give yourself a better event when you go, obviously, and when you come back. And I know you're knackered when you get back, but if you can do them essential bits, it will make it a lot easier. And one thing as well, which I forgot to mention, is if your boots are minging when you get off that field, try and scrape as much of the shit off there as you can. Any of that mud, the clay. If you've got a couple of bottles of water, even if you can stop at a garage, just got like a jet wash or something, just to blast them off, or anything like that at all, just to clean up as best you can before you get home. Because if you leave it on there, it's a pig to get off. Especially if you get that yellowy clay, if that gets stuck to it, it's an absolute bastard. It really is. I mean, even if I go on a dog walk, take the dog out, as soon as I get back, hose him down because he was probably rolled in fox shit, so I'll have the hose out anyhow. So I'll make his day a little bit happier by soaking him outside with cold water, and then I'll do my boots. The old Berg Defenders, just literally blast him with cold water. I've never had a water anything leaking there, like water leaking in when I'm cleaning them off or anything like that. They're such a great boot, cheap as chips, really good boot, solid boot. And I do that every time. And then obviously applying a bit of dubbing into the winter months and that, give a couple of 3 coats of dubbing on there. Don't rub it off, just let it dry and then do another coat, let it dry, do another coat. I'll do it everywhere, I do it all over the laces, everything. So it's a good seal, good old solid seal. That's what's got to be done. Boot maintenance, got to look after your boots. One of the big ones. Packing kit is not fun.
Silly says packing kit is not fun, especially for an overnighter. It isn't. I mean, ultimately,
I enjoy it. Once you get into it, though, it's quite good fun.
I think it's all right. I think it's all right once you're into it and getting through it. I think for me, the biggest thing is just that paranoia of forgetting something. I mean, I know I'm a bit of a worrier anyway, and that might be a shock to some people.
No.
But there is always that element of just like, have I definitely got everything I need? And it's if you've got that kind of little process going where you've got your list, checking it, you know that you've got stuff squared away previously, you know where it is, you're not leaving it last minute to go and find it. It just makes life a lot easier.
That's it. I mean, I've got the airloft here, and I've got sort of through some bits and bobs, but there's nothing better than getting it down out the loft, just lay it out in the living room. See you later, bud. Take it easy, mate. Laying out in the living room so you can see it all visually, or leave it all off to one side and so look at your list. So, right, shelter system, right, basher, pegs, blah, 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 bit of paracord, whatever. Put that in a pile. Right, there's my shelter system. Happy I got that. Right, sleep set. Sleeping bag, bivy bag, blah, 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 roll mat. Yeah, that's there. Right, okay, great. I've got all that. Nothing to worry about. Cook set. Right, onto that. Onto your food. Right, then you can start packing it away, and then you can tick it off, and you think, right, I know I've done it, I've seen it, I've packed it, there it is, bosh, 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 bosh. You can't then that gets rid of all that anxiety of worrying that you've not done it, and then, especially the trouble is with not the trouble with the Okto events. Obviously, we stop late mid-afternoon, early evening for the break till the next day. You go out to a campsite, and it's all nice and chilled. You know what I mean? You can have a beer, you can have a barbie, you can get your head down in your Volkswagen camper van like Mr. Tim does. Or in your brand new Mitsubishi Outlander like Mr. Mike does. Not me. Hard.
It's only right. It's only this event is like the first proper event I've done it. I know I did it. There was the private game we went to, and I slept in the tent. But that, in my defence, was during like a major storm. This one is merely because it's cold and it's going to be more. We have the luxury of doing that, so I'm going to.
And he's got his brand new sleeping bag, which goes out to -27. I'm going to sleep in the car. It's going to be cold.
I'm going to be very warm in my car.
You will be.
The only thing I've got to work out with the car is basically how to turn the car alarm off. Because last time I was in it, I rolled over and the car alarm went off and it scared the crap out of me.
Not to mention all the doggers that are outside the car.
Maybe that was why the car alarm went off.
Perhaps it was, yeah. Just woke up to those two little white butt cheeks just being pressed against the window.
Keeping it on point.
Yes.
Yeah, I know the rest of you slept in the storm, Andy. It says, Mike, the rest of us slept in the storm. But yeah, I get that. But
yeah, we represent him, mate. Even I think even Ratty was his first time ever.
Yeah, he did. Yeah,
and he slept out there.
And that's perfectly fine. For me, I wanted to, when I got the car, I wanted the opportunity to test sleeping in it. So that was
you were excited because it was your new toy, weren't you?
I know it was my new toy, and
this it's a very nice car, I must admit.
Yeah, this one I'm using it for the basis of ultimately we are effectively sleeping. It's not the MilSim event in terms of like a proper 48 hours. So there's
I
no
totally
reason
get what you're saying. Yeah, the sleeping and like the harbour area, it's not an element of the game, is it? So no. it's completely.
Yeah. And if it was the summer, the car's gonna be really hot in the summer, so that's a silly idea to do it in then. So that's why I'm doing it. And I'm not putting your post up, Danny. I'm refused to comment up.
I don't get it. I don't understand. Croydon Hammond strikes again. We need to get a dictionary. We need to do a weekly comment of Danny's Croydon Hammond-ish language.
Yeah. Danny Lane, buns, let's sleep outside. Thanks, Danny. Silly Gilly says, I'm a weekend warrior. Or warrior, sorry. Weekend warrior.
It all comes down to the list. Packing your kit up right, making sure it's all good, making sure you put it in the same pocket that you put it last time, then you're getting used to it.
Well, this is, so Rage brought this point up. Rage says, things like sleep kit, cooking kit as such. I air out, dry wash if needed, and then repack them ready for the next use. Boots live in my porch, as once you have had them a while, they can start to get a bit pungent. But with the
nothing like your own brand, mate.
With the repacking, that's the thing I find a little bit tricky. So I've obviously been trying to do that. We've discussed on the show previously the little tanker bag that I've been using as like a welfare kit or whatever. But I think the thing I find with repacking is that I'm always, and this is probably a detriment to my bank account, but I'm always trying to make my kit and systems a little bit better. And I don't think I've ever really got to a point where I'm like, yeah, I'm happy with this, and then moving on to something else in terms of, because the Bergen's always a big one for me, in that you kind of want to reduce how much you bring in as much as possible, so you're not lugging a massive bag with you all over the place. I think
the problem we've got as well as MilSim is that we go to a lot of events that are all very, very varying. So when it comes to kit is forever changing. It's always fluid. Like for this event, I don't need that. I need this. I need to do that. So I'm going to pack in this one this time.
Different camo scheme.
Yeah, exactly that. So, or I'm going to Legion, so you the opportunity there to take the crate. But I'm going to go to this one. If you go to an APOT 1, 9 times out of 10, you're going to load a Bergen. Whereas, if you're a serving soldier sort of thing, you're going to go out and exercise, for example, for a two-day exercise onto to wherever it is you're going, Dartmoor or wherever, I don't know. You're going to load your Bergen up, you're going to have your belt kit on, and that'll be it. And whenever you go out and exercise, you're going to load your Bergen up, you're going to have your belt kit on, and that'll be it. And you will literally, you could do it with a blindfolded, do you know what I mean? Bang, 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 that's all done. Yeah, I know it's there, great, let's go. Whereas us, fucking all this other stuff, do you know what I mean? Or your PMC this event, or your JTF this event, or you're a Civi Pop this event, you're doing this, and you're staying in hardcover this one, you're tense this one, you're summer this one, you're snowing that one.
Running different weapons, and
you're running different systems. So there's never any what's the word, Mike?
Consistency.
Do you know what I mean? It's not like you're using the same kit over and over again, event in, event out. Do you know what I mean? So that's where packing is going to come apart, and that's where the list comes into it. You know, you can almost specify a specific list for an event for your PMC kit. Right, what do I need for that? Blah, 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 blah. You know, Civi Pop, you know, your JTF stuff, or you know, your normal boot neck sort of kit, or whatever you want to call it. You know, if you're going with a loaded Bergen and you're going to jump into your harbour area or something like that, then you can sort of like get specialist kits for your little roles that you like to play at different events throughout the year. Maybe that's something for us to look at, Mike.
Yeah, so I mean that's
structure for a specific role and what you'd.
That's effectively what I've been trying to do with the welfare, the tanker bag. Going back to that. That kit is generally something I take all the time anyway. So that's why that's in its own bag. Literally just goes straight off the shelf in the bag. Job done. But yeah, I mean, Rage has said, you know, I'm lucky of having years of experience of climbing, wild camping, hill walking, and camping, and then 11 years serving. So I've done all the experimenting.
Yeah, to have that knowledge would be a godsend, wouldn't it?
So in 11 years' time, if the November Foxtrot podcast is still going, which hopefully it will be. We'll be looking back and we're going, yeah, I'm all squared away now. There's nothing to discuss.
Ask me anything.
Ray says sleep kit rarely changes, maybe change tarp for tent. I use 2 sleeping bag. Yeah, see, that's the thing though. So sleep kit for me does change in terms of you've got different sleeping bags for one thing. And that's why with the winter one, I found the winter one really difficult because I just couldn't get it all in the bag. You know, season 1 versus the season 4 is a very different size of sleeping bag.
I mean, for me,
you're right. Sorry, I've missed a comment. So sleeping bags change, but the position of them never changes. So yeah, I agree on that one.
Rage says the position. But see, for me, I've always said the main pack of your Bergen, the main big bit, is usually my sleeping system, my dry kit, and if you've not got a tailored Bergen, then your Bashor goes in the top, and maybe your day sack over the top of that. So that's always, I always surrender the main bit of my Bergen to my sleeping bag, bivvy bag. I don't take a roll mat. If I'm sleeping rough like that, I'll take a little Z mat or my little German infantry. The Aunt Fantry's mat, she comes with me. Fantry. And she'll go in the back of the spine of the bag in first, then move me inside me stuff sack. And then obviously like left pocket would be spare water, bit of ammo, whatever, little trinkety bits. Right pocket would be cook set, rations, blah blah blah. But then, like I said, you know, I'm lucky enough to have the tailored Bergen, so I've got 3 utility pouches and the poncho roll on the front, so I can put my shelter system in the poncho roll, a couple of water bottles on the front, and I'm good to go. But that's it. But that's how I've always done it, and that's how I will carry on doing it, regardless of it being summer or the winter months. Because obviously, if in the summer months, I'll ditch the big sleeping bag off, just take my jungle bag, and I'll have a hammock, so it'll free up a lot more space in there. So, in some respects, I could downgrade to maybe like a 60 litre for the summer. But then, because it's a summer event, you might take, well, you're not taking all the layers, you take some extra water. So, you know, you're swapping out something, but you would probably be putting something else in its place, depending on the climate, you know, wet weather gear, for example, things like that. You know, something to think about.
Silly Gilly says, I've only ever had one roll. Maybe I'm boring. I don't think it's a case of being boring. I mean, you know, you Silly Gilly's obviously specialised as a sniper.
Maybe you should broaden your horizons, Ed.
Yeah.
Try it. You might like it.
Yeah. Just run as a medic, the Gilly medic.
Gilly medic. Yes.
Oh, I mean, can you imagine that? Literally just hit and it just literally have his bush set up and don't worry, mate, I've got you.
This arm come out like with a bandage on it. Back in. Thank you, Mr. Bush.
Ray says, I've never used 4-season sleeping bag in the UK. 3-season with the bivvy has done me in the Highlands. Even woke up in Hillvellen, with a lot of snow and didn't feel the cold. So that's the thing I struggle with, is I do feel the cold a bit.
Although Rage's beard is 19 foot long and it's like a boa constrictor, so it just wraps him.
He's also just a tough bloke.
He's a tough
Like,
geezer with a massive beard, which turns into a hairy toga of an evening. He just wraps it around himself. I don't need a sleeping bag. Obviously, I can see that. Look at the fucking beard you've got. I could get in there with you.
Andy says, better to be an expert on one thing than a jack of loads.
Oh, look at that. Throwing that sort of comment out there.
Yeah.
Oh, Andy Bob. Honestly.
Cool. Right, so that's probably the end of this week's episode. I know it's been a bit of a random one.
I like it. No, it's good. I like to love talking about kit. Love a bit of kit.
Covered a variety of bits and pieces. Next week we're going to be talking MilSim Rolls Part 2 with Andy Bob. That guy there. So we're going to be doing rifles and LMGs. Kind of looking specifically at the rifleman and support roles that you get at MilSims. Silly Gilly, slightly off topic, guys, but can you advise me? I need a molly belt for attaching 5 pistol pouches to and a holster, nothing more. Any advice?
Yeah, just go for a lightweight. I'll go for a lightweight, low profile shooter's belt, mate, which has got the internal and the external. I mean, yeah, if you've got 5 pistol mags and a holster, so you can have your secondary on there as well. So it's going to be a bit of weight on that. 5 gas, I'd say 5 gas pistol mags would be more weight than 5 mid-cap standard mags, wouldn't they? Weight-wise.
I know UK Tactical have got a load of their. I think they've recently.
I'd say a shooter. I'd say for that you'd want at least, because if you want to holster your secondary, I'd say, I suppose you could do a two band molly belt would be all right, wouldn't it? Perhaps with a leg strap for the holster as well. I'd say 3 just for that added bit of extra security, but I'm sure you could do a 2 for a lightweight
so Warrior do a like a frag belt, I think it's called.
But you'd want definitely minimum. You want 2 rings of molly, mate. 2 bands of molly.
Yeah. I'll just share the screen quickly. Find it. Oh, come on. There we go.
There we go. Yeah, the Warrior low profile. There we go. Very nice.
So something like that might work.
And is that the external though? Do you get the internal so you can Velcro over it, or is that just like the hip cummerbund type?
No, so that one itself is just the sort of hip cummerbund.
See, I found them slip.
Well, yeah, this is the thing. I mean, it depends on how it's working and how you want it. I mean, there's a variety on there, and I'm not saying that you've got to go and buy that one.
No, and go up. Sorry, might go top left, Mike. Oh no, it's the same one. Yeah, you want a shooter's belt. Like that there.
That one.
That black one. Has that got 2 molly?
Oh, it's got a little bit of molly on there.
Yes, the laser. Yeah. So that's your laser cut shooter's belt. So there's 2 belts there, Ed. So you've got the black Velcro on the inside, and then the one with the Cobra head buckle is the external bit which you go over it. So when you want to take your you can take your holster off. You literally undo the Cobra buckle, and then it Velcros off, but it still keeps your inner belt, still keeps your trousers up, sunshine. You don't want your trousers dropping down. So you can get rid of all the gubbins and take that off, but you still keep the Velcro belt on the inside. Really good bit of kit. Great system. I will do that one day because I do like my shooter's belt, which I managed to bastard together with loads of other bits and bobs. But I find that slips a bit. So what I've had to do is, the cummerbund clips for the Osprey, the little T-bars with a male-female. I've got 2 of them at the back of my rig and 2 which just to hold the back of my belt because I can have it as tight as I want, sitting right up on my hips, and it still works its way down. I can't make, and it's sniper taped up, so it can't come loose. It blows I must lose weight as I run.
See, I find sometimes it goes the other way. Like
when I first put it on, I'm like, yeah, that's great. This is brilliant. Look at that. There's as soon as the game starts, I've done a couple of 100 yards or whatever. It's oh fuck, here we go. It's starting to come down there. Yeah. I don't know, maybe it's just my pear shape. I don't know.
Well, that's the thing. I often find that because got a big belly, stuff does sort of tend to move around to either side of you. But I mean, Ray says the frag belt's a bit bulky. Yeah, I completely agree. That is an option. That sort of system.
See, I'd do that frag belt for me. There, I'd have that set up as a lightweight webbing kit with a H harness or something like that on it.
Yeah,
that would be for me with that thick padding on there. That would be all day long. That's screaming for a webbing set for a belt kit be set up on it. But for a lightweight for sniping and him keeping a low profile, I'd definitely go shooter's belt, the dual one, Velcro with the outer belt over the top. Yes.
There you go.
Oh, actually, here's a question quickly for anyone who might also watch this channel. Military kit review, MKR. I can't find the YouTube channel or the Instagram. Is something? Is it? Do you know if they've stopped doing it, or has their site been taken down or something? I was trying to find a bit of info out from one of his videos I saw the other day on YouTube a few months back, but search for his YouTube channel. It's nothing at all. It's called MKR Military Kit Review, but I can't find it. It's completely vanished. It's not on Instagram. There's nothing on YouTube. No mentions of it anywhere. It's just completely vanished, which is weird.
Oh, he's finished.
Oh, he's finished. Oh, bloody hell. Oh, that's very odd. I don't know why he didn't
finish and then take it all down. Maybe.
Yeah. Because I say I've got some good tips. I used to do some good reviews and that on some kit and stuff. But I think he got taken down.
Andy said, think he got taken down and just gave up, so deleted everything.
Oh, fucking hell. Oh, well, there we go. That's a shame. There's some good reference points in some of his vids. Oh well. Always upwards. Find somewhere else now to look up bits and bobs.
Right, so yeah, we were going to stop.
Yeah, sorry about that.
No, that's fine. It's all good. It's all good. So yeah, we haven't had any reviews in a while. So if anyone wants to leave us a review, you can do so on Apple Podcasts. You can leave a review there, or you can leave a review on our Facebook page. If you want to get in touch with us, our email is nofochat@hotmail.com. Instagram is @November_Foxtrot_NoFo. Facebook is @November Foxtrot NoFo. YouTube, www.youtube.com/c/November Foxtrot. And our website is novemberfoxtrot.co.uk. We've got a few more reviews on there at the moment that we've done ourselves. So obviously looking at kit with the premise that no reviews until at least, I would say, no reviews till it's used and abused. So we've got a few bits and pieces on there, and that's going to be growing over the next, few years. So yeah, if you've got anything that you want us to look at as well, or anything that you've seen that we've got that you want us to do a little bit more of an in-depth review on, let us know, and we can obviously write that up. Otherwise, we're just going to be picking stuff willy-nilly as we go through it.
Exactly. And there will be videos coming, guys. A lot of podcasters and stuff, they do videos and upload stuff like that. We're just ironing out a few bits and bobs at the minute, but then we will still start doing sort of kits out in the field, doing kit setups and things like that. That's all coming. We're going to wait till it's a little bit nicer weather. Yeah.
Well, that's the only thing we're really waiting for, is merely just the weather to be nicer so we can go out and film.
Just it's a bit easier. If we take recording, kitting it out there in the field, it's don't be gipping wet. It's just going to be a ball like it'd be a lot easier and to explain, and in a nice summery light environment to do these videos. So they are coming. They're all planned out. We've got lots of stuff planned for this year. So it's only going to be good things. Lots of good things to come.
Cool. I think that's everything. Join us next week with Andy. And then in the meantime, have an excellent week, and we'll let you know next week as well how Okto goes.
We will. We'll let you know if the podcast is still continuing next week after going head to head.
After Operation Spatchy Spatch.
After Operation Spatchy Spatch.
Just before we do go, so I realise we haven't actually said it. So it's Operation Vanquish 2, Battle Lakes.
Battle Lakes, yes.
So that's
on Airsoft Battle Lakes. So looking forward.
And if you're coming along, then feel free to say hello, because we've obviously got stickers and stuff that you can grab off us as well. So and we'll have patches as well if anybody still wants a patch. So.
Patches for sale and stickers to give away. What more could you possibly want? Wonderful.
Right. Danny says Mike shot him in the face.
Mike shot him in the face. Mike shoot him in the face. Don't shoot me in the face, Danny. You.
Right. Say goodbye, Lance.
Goodbye, Lance.
We'll see you all next week. See ya.